Okay, the Maimer this evening is the Maimer that the Rebbe spoke, Yud Beis Tamuz Tavshem Mem Gimel, the 12th of Tamuz, 1983. And the Maimer is on the occasion of the previous Rebbe's redemption. Yud Beis Tamuz is the redemption date that the Chassidic Rebbe was freed from prison, 1927. And the Rebbe said this Maimer, Chassidic discourse, in 1983, Tavshem Mem Gimel, during the Farbrengen of Yud Beis Tamuz. So the Rebbe starts the Maimer with a posik, with a bracha, with a blessing, which is said for someone that went out of danger, which he usually says it, or someone that made a trip, or someone that was sick and became well, and different ways of thanking the Eibishter, and that is the bracha of Birchas HaGomel, the bracha of Benchen Gomel. So the Frierdiker Rebbe said it also in one of his first Chassidic discourses. After he was freed from prison, he said with the words, Baruch HaGomel HaYovim Teves Shegmolani Tev. That thanking the Eibishter that he gave, that he gives good, that he's generous to the ones that are not innocent, HaYovim Teves, and he gave Shegmolani Tev, that he was generous with me and gave me goodness. Which this is the posik, the bracha that a person makes when he comes out of danger, or as the four different groups of people that if it was either a trip, or he was in a desert, or he was overseas, or imprisoned, and he came out from all the different situations, or one of these four different situations. So he thanks the Eibishter benches Gomel. So this is when the Birchas HaGomel is recited. So the Frierdiker Rebbe began his Chassidic discourse with this posik, with this bracha, with this blessing, and the Rebbe used it also many different occasions. Yud Beis Tamuz to open up the Maimer Chassidus with this bracha. So Baruch HaGomel HaYovim Tev Shegmolani Tev, we're thanking the Eibishter that he gave good, that he was generous with the person. So the person thanks the Eibishter for it. In a nusach zeh nusach Birchas HaGomel. This is the nusach, the version of the Birchas HaGomel, thanking the Eibishter Sheberach Gam Bal HaGeula Kashechozer Leburya Imasov Memaisre. That also the previous Rebbe, when he was redeemed from prison, so he also made this blessing. Shabbos, after he returned home to Leningrad from Kostroma, so he made the blessing Baruch HaGomel, and that's when he also said the Maimer Baruch HaGomel. The Veilim came to Rose Leningrad, Peterburg, because he came back to his dwelling place, which he lived in Leningrad at that time when he was arrested on the 15th of Sivan, and Yud Beis Tamuz he was freed. So B'meila, this is coming back to Leningrad, which then was called Petersburg. So this is the Maimer, the blessing the Frierdiker Rebbe made. So the Rebbe is going to now explain and elaborate on the Maimer, the Chassidic discourse that the Frierdiker Rebbe delivered on the occasion of his redemption. The previous Rebbe is Medayik, he asks and he elaborates in his Maimer, in Chassidic discourse that the previous Rebbe delivered in the year 1927, the year that he was freed, redeemed from prison, that he said on the occasion of the 13th of Tamuz, Be'esh Shana, Lama Mishtana Nusach Bracha Zu Mibirchas Hanes She'ema Baruch She'asa Lines. What is it different, the Nusach, the version of this blessing, than the version of the blessing that we make on a nest? That for example, if a person visits a place where he had a nest took place, an individual miracle took place, and he sees it once over 30 days, he makes a bracha, Baruch she'asa nes, she'asa li nes, that the Eibishter should be blessed, one that made a miracle for me. Or, also nes la'veisa, he made a miracle for my parents, which in halacha, a person, when he sees such a place, he would have to make a bracha. To the extent, finding ourselves in the season of Yud Beis Tamuz, it comes to mind, 1976, there was a story then with the Entebbe, with the rescue from Entebbe, and the Rebbe then asked that all the Rabbanim should paskin. What happens if a person that was one of the families that was rescued comes back to that place, visits the place for whatever reason, no logical reason, but upon him, if it happens that he decides to come back to Uganda, he comes back there to Tanzania, he finds a place, does he have to make a bracha or not? Al pi halacha. So all the Rabbanim that were not threatened in any way from different elements at that time answered clearly that halacha is a person that sees a place that was a miracle took place, a personal miracle, a miracle in the family, needs to make a bracha. The bracha is Baruch she'asa linas, blessed is he who has made a miracle for me. So therefore the Rebbe says, in the same sense that when it comes to miracle, we say, blessed is he that he made a miracle for me. So when it comes to thanking Hashem, we should then also the version of the blessing for Hashem taking a person out of a situation overseas, that he traveled overseas, he had a safe trip, or he came out of a desert, or he came out from prison, and so on and so forth. So the blessing should have been a very simple blessing. Baruch she'asa litei. Blessed is he who did goodness with me. Why do we have such a different version in the beginning of the Maimer? Baruch HaGomel Blessing, that blessed is he who is generous to the ones that are guilty, that he gave them good. He should have said Baruch she'asa litei.
Is this the bracha that somebody makes when they come back from a trip?
Right.
So what's the question?
The question is because in the same, what did the Eibishter do? The Eibishter gave him goodness, that he pulled him out of it. So you should have said Baruch she'asa litei.
The halacha is he got out of jail.
No.
So this is the bracha you make.
So the question is, why is this the bracha?
Why is the nusach different?
The Rebbe is asking, why is the nusach bracha like that? What's the?
So why just have when you get out of jail? Why not?
Everything.
Nothing happened.
Oh, for anything.
Any time that a person went out, for
any of the four.
All of the four, every one of them.
No, so the lamb is only something bad could have happened to you, right?
Yeah. Gomel is that he was in a situation of danger and he came out. Something life-threatening.
Take the corruption, switch, you should ask me that.
So that instead of HaGomel which mentions something negative,
Do it positive, right?
He gave goodness to me. What is the Chayovim? Where was he considered guilty? Chayav means that he's guilty. And still, although he was guilty, the Eibishter did goodness with him. The question is, why don't we say it in a simple way? What is the point of mentioning that there's something of guilt? This is what the Frierdiker Rebbe asks in his Maimer. Hainu the neisaf ala shinoi mibracha zule birchas hanestam. That in addition to the change, that the difference between this blessing and a blessing of a nes, sherbirchas hanes, when it comes to a miracle, we say Eimrim Baruch she'asa linas. That blessed is he who made a miracle for me. A Baruch she'asa linas b'mokem hazeh. Or blessed is he that he made a miracle in this place. V'kayetze and so on and so forth. V'kan habracha hi Baruch she'gmolani teif. So one difference is that over here in this blessing we say she'gmolani teif, which is not she'asa litei, she'gmolani teif, which is one difference. Av she'gam bracha zu hi al anes, even though it is also on a miracle. Another difference is in the Yedzei Shemagdim and Bebracha Zuat HaLoshon HaGomel HaChayovim Teves. We are mentioning something which is negative, a negative note. Shezel Winyan Shal Askoras Cheva La'atzmi. When a person said, blessed is he who granted goodness to someone that's not innocent. That means that he's putting himself in a position that he's not innocent. He's guilty. So he's mentioning Chayv for himself. Although the miracle, the accomplishment of the miracle shows and proves that in a natural way he wasn't able to access this rescue. In other words, it had to come from a miracle, not in a natural way. And even more yet, that through a miracle, the Gemara tells us in the Talmud of Shabbos, the tractate, that a person should not rely on miracles because they remove merits. They possibly deduct his merits by accomplishing